Well, it's just shy of midnight here at Shelbourne Park. We've actually seen the Derby draw, but now we're going to reflect on the 12 heats here at Shelbourne Park as the opening round came to a conclusion in the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby. Kevin, again, some tremendous performances tonight. A lot of the big names were in action on Friday, but some fine performances all the same. We'll kick it off at the start, and of course, the first race tonight was won by a lady, the same as last night, and this time it was COOLAVANNY chick. This lady showed awesome pace and power, and she really is going places.
Yeah, she really is. She's a sister of Unlock, who we saw running last night, and we know how good she is. This lady probably has a bit more early pace. Unlock probably comes home that little bit sweeter, but they're two very, very fast bitches who are improving with every single run they have. And NEWINN Leicester's a good benchmark, and to pick up NEWINN Leicester off a good break was quite impressive. She was only a spot, I think, off the fastest time of the night as well. So a really, really standout performance here tonight.
Only a spot off the fastest time, but did lose 2 or 3 lengths because she went into the corner a very close second, was forced to check up, found herself back in third off the second bend, but got going again, really powered up that home straight. A lot to like about COOLAVANNY chick. NEWINN Leicester, I thought, would come on for the run. He certainly looked like he'd need the run the last night, probably needed another run or two, and behind him Razzle Dazzle Monarch. He had run well in Tralee, a little bit flat tonight in defeat.
Yeah, but you'd like to see, look, we saw it even last night with a couple of dogs that were running in Clonmel and different tracks. Coming back up to Shelbourne Park, as we saw last night, you can take him a run. I'd expect more to come from Neelius's dog. On
so to the second heat of the evening here at Shelbourne, and DEGROM was a good winner for Pat Buckley. This fellow had to be determined to get around that opening corner. He had to challenge with COOLAVANNY Kaiser. Soldier Spy did his best to ruin DEGROM's chances, but DEGROM was determined, dogged, got back to the front off the second bend and went on to win well. COOLAVANNY Kaiser running well in second spot, but DEGROM was probably the dog to take out of this.
Yeah, very much so. I know the seeding changed on DEGROM, and I'm not surprised. He did step left after leaving the boxes. He was a wide seed, he's now a middle seed. I think he's a middle draw in the next round, which will definitely suit him that little bit sweeter, because when he did come out, he flew from boxes but did step a little bit to the left. Could have cost him a small bit of momentum, but like you said, this race has plenty of early in it. Soldier Spy, we know, has got lightning quick early to the bend as well, but the DEGROM once in front, there was no doubt about the winner. A good run as well in 29.63. Another young dog at Pat. He's got a lovely kennel of young dogs, Pat, and this one is another one. Soldier Spy, for those supporters, I'd be a little bit more confident about the dog, because I know you mentioned it in the comments that he didn't stay particularly well last week. Much better tonight. He ran to the line tonight, and I'm sure Connections will be happy about that.
Pat Buckley actually 2 to qualify there. Glengar Mary running on well in 4th spot. Moving on, the next heat, Wirren, a talented dog for Carl Ramsford and Gavin Johns. He'd been missed and kick in recent starts. The 550 run-up was probably the key to success here. While he didn't flash out, he had the early speed to get to the corner, and in this contest that was to prove crucial. BALLYMAC Taz staying on well. She's probably not quite the same bitch she was last year. Rathcoole Fox ran very disappointingly, but the same can't be said for Wirren. As we said, got to the front, built a clear lead, and then held off BALLYMAC Taz.
Yeah, I think he's probably been a little bit frustrating for Connections. He's got a serious engine in there, but he just is a little bit temperamental at the boxes. Once he got it right tonight, and once he hit the front, it was a matter of what clock he would do. He's a good dog when he's on the bunny, this lad. He's well able to run. Like you said, BALLYMAC Taz, look, she hasn't sparkled as much as she did last year, but she's such a strong lady. You can never rule her out. Ran well in a competition in Cork recently. Back up here, I think she'll be a better bitch here than she was in Cork. And I think if she can sneak through another round or two, she should be improving all the time. Like you said, Rathcoole Fox, for whatever reason, just didn't fire tonight for him. An awful lot more to come from him, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we didn't mention Sweetheart Deal. She finished third. She showed a bit of foot into the third bench. She can go up a bit better. Sonia Butler is a nice little kennel of dogs, and a nice type there, that Sweetheart Deal. Of course, that was only her 6th career start. Moving on to Heat 16, and here we saw a fine display by Feudal Spirit. Flashed out of boxes, couldn't contain BALLYMAC Lowry into the opening corner, which is fair enough. BALLYMAC Lowry has big early speed, just got in the way of Feudal Spirit, but Feudal Spirit ran a couple of great bends, hit the front between the last 2 bends, went on again, stayed on stoutly. A lot to like about this dog. That was his 6th win from 9 starts. He is a starter, he's a stayer. He just wants to win. You just get that impression. There'll be faster dogs in it, but he'll go a round or two.
Oh, he will. He's a lot more early than I was giving him credit for. I know he's a couple of nice runs there, but this was a big step up in class for him with the likes of BALLYMAC Lowry on his inside, who we know from the unraced day can fly to the bend. He did again tonight. The 550-yard trip for a dog so young probably just doesn't see it out right now. Probably will in the future with a bit more age to him. But yeah, Feudal Spirit, one of mine that went into the notebook tonight. I know the Graham team, Holland team, might have been a little bit disappointed with Cool Fox, but bouncing back in nice fashion here with Feudal Spirit. The dog in one, Monbeg Zinzan, he's in a really nice card. I'd expect a bit more from him. I'd imagine he should come on, and similar to NEWINN, Taylor and the likes, coming up from Clonmel to Shelburne, it might just take him a race or two, but keep an eye on him. He's better than what he showed tonight.
The other qualifiers there, Trap 5, Tracy's Bob came in, showed pockets of pace, in fairness, looked like he was going to get heavily involved at one point. Kilzagi's Onyx staying on in third. He can run better than that, but they're there. They're back. They're in the second round draw.
Yeah, very much so. That Calzaghe dog is some nice form in England. He's only recently come over to Martin Lanny. You'd imagine the more races he gets under his belt, he should continue to improve.
Moving on to Heat 17, and this was supposed to be the Graham Holland show. He had the top 4 in the market. Going into the corner, everything seemed to be going right. He had the first 4 into the bend, but then disaster struck. NEWINN Session and Black Parachute became entangled, and that cost them their chance. Wolf had shown his brilliant early speed, the speed we're so used to at this point, the Easter Cup winner. He hasn't been seen since the Easter Cup, so we knew he'd need the run badly. He'd only had sprint trials back. He did tie up around the bottom 2 bends and home, but Ballyhimmock and Jet, we knew once he turned a close second that, well, the writing was on the wall. He's a really hard running greyhound. A dog that reached the Champion 6 final, had been in tremendous form prior to then. He just does everything right, and he's a dog that could certainly be in the latter stages of the Derby.
Oh, look, he'll be in the top 4 or 5 in the betting, I'd imagine. Ballyhimmock and Jet, his record is very, very impressive, and he never runs a bad race, it seems. A very bittersweet race for Team Holland here. I'd imagine they had massive hopes for NEWINN Session in particular. He's a dog that I'm a massive admirer of, and one of the ones I was most looking forward to seeing tonight, and he was in a great position going into the first bend, and just a racing incident between kennel mates cost them their chances of going through. But like you said, yeah, Ballyhimmock and Jet, great to see Wolf bounce back. He's probably one of the dogs open to the most improvement. Like you said, needs racing, but what really impressed me about Wolf was he hasn't lost that burst to the corner. Like, that was a good race, and once he trapped, he still had that sparkle to the bend, so I'd imagine much more to come from him too. Yeah,
the other qualifiers there were Lemon Ozzy, who did show signs of return to his form, and Burgess Dakota. We move on to Heat 18, and this was well, a slightly fortuitous winner in the form of Great Name That, although he did have to show pace and determination to take the gap when it opened up, but it really was the parting of the Red Sea into third bend, and he shot through. We know he stays on strongly. A good winner for Liam Dowling.
Yeah, very much so. Look, the Zingers had showed a lot of pace to get up the inside of Lemon Boris, and then it just all appeared for Great Name That, and once he got through, even going into the third bend, any bit of scrimmaging where he was positioned to throw down a big challenge. Look, it was a messy race, hence why the clock 29.94 wasn't there, but he's a dog with a bright future, this lad. I personally think it's probably over further. I just think that he might lack a touch to the bend in some of these races going forward. But yeah, look, I'm sure Vigor Scooby's another one. He's another dog to keep an eye out for over further distances. When this lad goes over 6 bends, he could be quite something.
Yeah, he's pretty strong, all right. It's worth pointing out there, Frankie's Jet had shown good speed to get to the front, passing Lemon Bars into the third bend. He was carried wide as well, but he did the 17-17. It was a good third bend sectional. On now to Heat 19 on your card, and this was a fine display by NEWINN Sheedy. Really impressive. Graham Hollands and Larry O'Rourke's tracker. A double for Larry O'Rourke, of course. NEWINN Sheedy showed good early speed, got to the front, did everything right. 29.47, only his 9th career start, still a puppy. A lot to like about him.
Yeah, arguably one of the more impressive runs of the night as well. He's lighting into the corner. Pat Buckley's dog, Knockabool Sid, in 4. We know how good he is to the bend as well, and they're 2 young dogs that went head to head tonight, and the 2 of them, I'd imagine, will come on again for the run. They're 2 really good pups going in the right direction. Very unfortunate to see Run Happy going out. A poor draw, didn't get across, wasn't able to dictate, and the writing really was on the wall for Run Happy going down the back. He after trouble and the position he was in, he was never going to be able to stay there with the stare like Deadly Delago in a slipstream, and unfortunate for the runner-up last year to go out in the early stage.
You get the sense that it came too soon for him.
Yeah.
Pat Buckley would have loved another month to get him ready, and he had an interrupted preparation. Toolmaker Daddy qualified as the Deadly Dulago, but it was the front two to take out of this. NEWINN, SHEEDY and Knocknabull Sid, two young dogs with a bright future. On so to Heat 20, a messy, a strange affair, but it was great to see Killer B getting back to something like his best. This was a superstar puppy. Obviously had a near career-ending injury, brought him back lovely and slowly. He's been running well without being the same dog, but tonight he got back up in the line to win. A great victory for Peter and Tony. They won't be expecting to win a derby with him, but I'm sure they're delighted that he's winning races again.
Yeah, very much so. And Slippy Keane as well, I'd like to say, like, he's an old veteran now at this stage, and he's been in these derbies for many the last couple of years, and he made a move going down the back straight from the wall anyway. I haven't seen the replay, but from the wall it looked like he might get up the inside. I think Scooby Princess came to challenge him at that point as well, but yeah, I think Killer B and Slippy Keane, both connections, will be delighted just to get through. 29.92. You couldn't really see anything coming out of this to win a derby potentially, but a couple of real stalwarts in the race, and still doing connections proud. Yeah,
our Drahan Pinocchio, it looked for all the world he was going to open his account in the derby, no less, after going through the unraced stake here, but he's not far off a win. Unfortunately, he's in hot company at the moment. It may come after he comes out of Derby, but he'll win plenty of races for Daniel Nolan because he just knows how to race. On so to Heat 21, and this was BALLYMAC Wild, and I was impressed with this because Great Eastern did get in his way, held him up off the second bend down the back straight. He is a middle runner, despite the fact he carries an inside seat. Newline Cody ran well to challenge into the third bend, but I thought BALLYMAC Wild was the dog to take out of it. And Mustang Firmino, if he ever could that been more consistency at traps, we know he has plenty of pace. He ran on well for second spot, but BALLYMAC Wild, very much the dog to take out of this. I know he's won the Juvenile Classic, he's run up at Champion Stakes, but he's still getting there. He's still a dog that's improving all the time. He could definitely be a Derby contender.
He is, and I know that the Dowlands think a lot of him. Shane in particular has said to me, even from when we spoke in Tralee, that he really liked this pup. And I got to say, he even running up at Champion Stakes, funnily enough, tonight was his best run I've ever seen him do, and I've seen him in every race he's ran. I even said to Shane when he walked in, the move he made down the back straight where he was forced wide at the second, and to go down the back straight and pass dogs the way he did in a good little race was quite impressive to me. Great Easter and gave Martin Lanny a great run in the Derby last year, and he's winging out of the boxes at the moment. Hopefully he could go another couple of rounds, but like you said, absolutely BALLYMAC Wild. I thought he was a good dog. I thought he was a real good dog. Went up in my estimation tonight. He's a Derby contender for me now.
Yeah, he's one we'll look out for next week again. On so to Heat 22. Antigua Sands, when she was known as BALLYMAC Beach, looked a really promising youngster. She was sold across the water. She had some fine form across in England. She's back with Liam Dowling, I assume, for breeding. And before she comes in season, he decided to run her in the Derby, as you do. No trial back, pops up, wins as you like in 29.75. You know, that's the way to do it. She's a nice tool, and she'll make a nice brood bitch, I'd imagine.
Yeah, she will. I think she's only arrived in Liam's less than 2 weeks. Now, I saw her at the far side, and she's a credit to Connections. She's fighting fit, she looks immaculate, but it was a fair achievement, like you said, to be running in the likes of Sheffield and Hove, come back to Shelburne without a look. The draw was perfect for her, and she capitalised on it. Battle Cry came away very, very well, just couldn't make the corner, but like you said, take nothing away from the winner, Antigua Sands. She can only improve, settling back into Shelburne Park. She'll have to, but like you said, she ran very, very well tonight and capitalised. Drumdort Bermuda, I thought ran very well as well. A dog coming from Dundalk, from sprints, stepping up in trip, different track. Was running in Dundalk up to last week. He should come on. He
has plenty of pace.
Yeah,
Drumdort Bermuda.
very much so. Yeah.
When he does trap, and he can trap, you know, he could put it up to some fast dogs in this Derby, have no question about that. Your own Battle Cry was a fraction unlucky. I know she's short of work, she'll probably need another week or two, perhaps even more, but you know, she nearly got around that corner, and we know if she gets around that corner, nothing's catching her, but she does lack that half yard into the corner. That is her problem, of course, but it's good to be still there, and who knows, another week she might come on again. Wouldn't be surprised if she did qualify next week.
Yeah, well look, she will need all the weeks. She's only recently out of season. We sort of rushed it back trying to get into the Derby. We're there with a chance. She's doing her best. She winged out tonight. She gave herself the best chance, but yeah, the last 10 yards just catches her out to the corner.
Clona Blaze just there, the veteran, the old Easter Cup winner, of course. He's still running well. He didn't get his flying start tonight, but got to the front. But great to see him running well. On so to Heat 23, and this was well, it ended up being a bit of a match race in the end with Doolin Prince and Our Surprise. Our Surprise, a fraction unlucky. Ravenswood Mango checked off the corners. Doolin Prince cut the nose off her at the corner. He'd shown good early speed from 5, a very tricky draw to go to the front. Our Surprise lost that length or two, was coming, but Doolin Prince stuck his neck out. In fairness to him, wins a neck in 29.61. Two nice, solid running greyhounds. Two dogs that'll run their race every night of the week, and of course nobody would begrudge Our Surprise going through a few rounds and who knows, maybe get to a Derby final because he was so cruelly denied last year.
Yeah, I can see these two dogs going another couple of rounds. I was delighted for Mary. She was buzzing over the far side with Doolin Prince, and when he gets his trapping boots on like that, he's very, very good. He can be a little bit inconsistent at the boxes, but I'm sure that's a real good confidence booster for him. Our Surprise, it was brilliant to see him running the way he ran. He still has that spark. He still has that kick from the third bend. He was closing all the time. In another 2 or 3 weeks, that kick will even be more venomous. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on. And look, he was the story of the Derby last year after Lawrence's interviews on TV and stuff. And everyone would only be delighted to see him go deep into it again this year.
Here. Just to mention there, I would imagine the connections of Ben Mannell and Owen Doyle and of course Tommy Woods with Lord Rusty are delighted to have a runner in the second round of the Derby, and the dream is still alive. On so to Heat 24, and this was all about the Bold Eagle's early speed, but this is what he does. He gets to the corner, avoided the scrimmage, left clear. He's not a stout stayer, we know that, but 29.82 off the front. If he gets to the front every night, you know, they're going to have to come to him and catch him. Whether he can do the clocks, I don't know, but he has good early speed, and early speed is a potent weapon in a Derby. Yeah,
I was surprised by the clock. I thought he was visually, doing a lot quicker. I thought it was definitely a sub 29.60 run on the night, which of the runs we saw. There was a bit of trouble in behind. A number of them didn't get the clearest of passages at the corner, which left them clear in front. And look, when you have that early pace, that possibility is always there. I'd rather be up and around in front and worry, let the rest of them worry about any potential trouble. And he is a very reliable fast starter whose strike rate is brilliant. 8 races, 7 wins and a third. So look, he's doing nothing wrong. Stamina would be a question mark, and we'll only learn that as the competition goes on. Magical Jasper ran very, very well. Ballydale Valor and Epic Hero, I'm sure Connections are just delighted to get through after a bit of messy trouble at the first bend.
Of the 3rd and 4th place finishers, there are 2 that could definitely step up considerably. I wouldn't be surprised if there's run in either Ballydoyle Valor. Well, we know there is a big run in him, but Epic Hero's a nice young dog. I still feel there's a big run in him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was here in 2 or 3 weeks' time talking about Epic Hero.
Put him in trap 1 or 2 and see what he'll do.
Yeah, I'd say he'll do a fair run. Yes, so that's it. All 24 heats have been covered. It's a great Derby. We look forward to the second round. There's going to be 8 heats on Friday, 8 heats on Saturday. We'll be back with you then. But in the coming days, get studying. There's plenty of winners to be found.